commonly known as the FX Chief around the world in the Forex industry. We will be having a series of lessons teaching you the importance of the psychological makeup to become a great trader. Now, a lot of people think that trading is 90% psychological and mental and 10% skill. And so what we're going to do is we're going to focus in this series and teaching you how to have your head in the game, how to win trades mentally, emotionally before you execute the trade, so you're not executing trades and fighting to win. This lesson is all about mentorship. And so it's important to find a mentor in everything you attempt to do in your life before you set out to do it. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to a racehorse, but here in America, we have what's called the Kentucky Derby. It's kind of like the final championship racehorse. And if you've ever been to a racehorse, you'll see that the horses are all lined up, ready to go. At the Kentucky Derby, they have 20 horses lined up, which are called thoroughbreds. Now, all their owners are sitting in the stands. All their owners have invested millions of dollars with bloodstock agents to see if, before they paid for stud fees, to see if inside the DNA of their racehorse lied a future champion, to see if inside the bloodline lied a future champion. Because if whoever wins this Kentucky Derby will be able to take their horse and use it for stud fees, and stud fees cost as much as $1 million. Now think about it. These owners have paid upwards of $1 million to have their horses bred with thoroughbreds that hopefully have a championship bloodline. Now, bloodstock agents have a serious responsibility to study the bloodline of past champions. And they go backwards, upwards of 100 years and study to see how many champions lie in that bloodline. They also study the strength of the horse, the stride of the horse, the muscle structure of the horse. They study the lung capacity of the horse, the endurance of the horse. More importantly, they understand and study the psychological and mental makeup to see if that horse could become a high-spirited future champion horse. And so what happens is, if they have the right information, the more information they have, the more they can get for a stud fee. And usually, the more information they have about championship bloodline, the higher percentage chance their horse is going to win the Kentucky Derby. Now, the saddest part about life is this. There are 6 billion people on this planet, and just about every person in the world is getting up every day trying to win a race, trying to become a champion in their own way. 97%, or 5,820 million people, don't make it and end up never getting to retire with any real dignity. My question is this, okay? Are you preparing to retire with any level of dignity? Or are you going to be one of the 97% that ends up working at perhaps a grocery store, depending on the government to help you out, depending on your family? Perhaps you'll have to move in with your family because you can't make it on your own. Perhaps you're going to be greeting people at Walmart. Either way, think about it. 3 out of 100 make it to a level of dignity. Now, the majority of the world has no idea about their bloodline. They don't know whether they are a racehorse or a plow horse. All they know is that if they don't get up and work like a workhorse, they won't survive, and in most cases, the majority hates what they do. Now, think through this. If money wasn't an issue, what would you do? Because I'm going to ask this question. Do you really love what you do? I find that the majority of the world really doesn't love what they do. They just do what they do because that's what they have to do to survive. And what a tragedy to go through your life doing something you really don't want to do when in reality, you could do what you want to do. Now, if money wasn't the issue, I'm going to ask this question. What would you do with your life? I really want you to think about that. Because I've learned that if you end up doing something that you absolutely love, that you're passionate about, then you will end up becoming a master at that thing. And I've learned that everybody in this world is interested in something, and whatever you do, if you become a master of it, people will come from all over the world and pay you a high fee for what you've learned. And so one of the most important things you need to do is you need to do what you really love doing in life. And as you go about doing what you really love to do, it's critically important that you find a mentor in your life. And so one of the things about mentors is I'm very qualified to answer the question about mentorship, because the mentorship, when a person is a mentor, greatness lies not in trying to be somebody, but rather in trying to help somebody. Think through that. You know, everybody's trying to become successful. And one of the things that I've learned is that when you become successful, the worst thing you can do is become arrogant, think you're better than anybody. One of the things I've done is I've taught all my children to never look down on anybody unless you're looking down to help them up. We have a responsibility to help one another. You know, God never said, go out into the world and impress everyone. He never said that. He said, go out into the world and love everyone, help everyone, be kind to everyone, you know, give to everyone. When he said give, he wasn't just talking about giving money, he was talking about giving of your time and your talents. And so if you have some sort of skill, take it upon yourself to help other people with your skill. Become a mentor. If you're trying to learn something new in your life, go find a mentor. Because mentors also can turn every person they know into a potential future mentor who comes along in their life. See, we can all learn something from each other. And that's very critical. See, I don't know everything, nor would I ever pretend to know everything. I love teaching people because, see, people can do things I can't do, and I can do things they can't do. But when we work together, boy, can we do a lot. And so everybody can help everybody, and everybody can teach everybody. And so mentors are kind to everyone because they understand how hard life's battles are, and they understand that everyone is fighting a difficult battle. Now, listen to me real good. Everybody has a background. Some of us are real proud of our backgrounds. Some of us aren't very proud of our backgrounds. But we all have backgrounds. There's nothing we can do about yesterday. There's nothing we can do about our past. But our past doesn't define our future. If we've made mistakes, if we've done things we shouldn't do, then today is a day we can start to make things better. None of us can go back and start all over, but today we can start to have a beautiful ending. And so if you have done things in your past, don't worry about it. Like I said, it will not define your future. What will define your future is what you start doing today and in the future. And so with this background, I've learned that every human life also has burdens. We all walk around with burdens, and everybody's fighting a battle. And so when you're getting involved in doing something, as you have your burdens, as you have your battles, as you have your background, find a mentor who can help you stay focused on what you need to be doing and where you need to keep going. You see, mentors know that what they have done for themselves alone dies with them, and what they have done and do for others in this world, and how we help them in their struggles as they fight their own battles in this world, remains and becomes immortal. Now think about it. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And so if you stay focused on you and only you and selfish you really won't get out of life what is rightfully yours. Because the more we give, the more we get. And mentors love to give. Now there's a concept and a mindset where people say, why would a mentor help me? This is why they would help you. A mentor would help you is because finally successful people, like I said, make their living by what they get, but they make a life by what they give. See, they want to give. They want to help. They know that they're not going to live in this world forever. And if they can touch the life of another person, then that is all the better for everyone. Now you must understand one very important thing. If you're going to start a business, you're going to become a successful trader, if you're going to open up a restaurant, if you're going to become any sort of businessman, you need to understand that success in life is not a fantasy. It's a formula. Now I want you to think through that. Success in life is not a fantasy. It's a formula. You need to be asking yourself, if I'm opening up a restaurant business, what's the formula? If I'm going to be a trader, what's the formula? Obviously, successful traders know a formula. See, successful people can become your mentor. They have discovered a formula that works in their expertise. See, their daily focus is to be disciplined to that formula. Think about it, everybody. McDonald's sells their successful formula for hamburgers of upwards of $1 million. Think about that. $1 million for a formula to cook hamburgers. Now, I want to talk about, let's just say me, because I'm the one that wrote all this. Just think, people go and pay $1 million for a book to make hamburgers and to run that store. A book, see? Success is not a fantasy, it's a formula, and that book is that formula. But see, that formula was created by people, founders of companies, people that have gone through everything that they had to go through to discover the formula of success for their business. Now, mentors, okay, there are 6 great reasons you need a mentor in your life. Number 1, mentors have learned how to think accurately from their past experiences of trial and error. As a trader, let me tell you, I didn't have a mentor in my life. I went 5 years with making no money. There was nobody I could call to. There wasn't any lessons I could listen to. I didn't even have any dealing station platform. I had to make all my trades on a telephone when I started 30 years ago. You talk about difficult. There wasn't even any Fibonacci's. There wasn't inner, outer, long-term trend lines. There wasn't any crowns that we teach. See, and I really had no one to turn to. Now, when I started my first business back in 1974, let me tell you, in 1974, when I started, I went out and found business mentors that helped me run that business. They taught me the things that I needed to learn. And because of that, do you realize that within 10 years, I had well over $5 million in assets. See, I became a millionaire within 10 years because I had the right mentors teaching me how to become a successful businessman. Now, I'm going to tell you, it would have taken me a lot longer had I not found a mentor, because mentors also are very clear on how to separate facts from mere information. Mentors, they have learned which facts are important and which facts are unimportant for their continued success and for your continued success. See, mentors have already made the mistakes and are skilled in not repeating them. Listen to me. How many times have you made mistake after mistake after mistake? See, lessons come into our life over and over and over and over again until we finally learn the lesson. How many mistakes have you made in an attempt to become successful, and you keep making the same mistake over and over again? You see, mentors have already made the mistakes and are skilled at not making those mistakes again. The other thing that I love about mentors is that they are a brain you can pick, an ear to bend, and a person who can push you in the right direction. See, they are someone whose hindsight can work hugely to your advantage and become your foresight. Now, the amazing thing about life is all about lessons, isn't it? We get up every day, and every day we have problems, every day we have challenges, and when we don't answer our problems and our challenges with an answer that is better than the problem, better than the challenge, guess what? The problem stays. It continues